Hello and welcome you all to my video lecture class. I am your faculty Dipankar Ghosh. In my previous videos of production technology, we discussed about various types of furnaces. Let us discuss today about your difference between your coke-fired furnace and your oil-fired furnace. So here is the difference. Already we discussed about pit furnace, about their advantages, disadvantages, working and various aspects of that. So let us today we compare this pit furnace with your oil-fired furnace. So here you can see in both of the cases we are having a crucible which is put inside a pit. Here in case of coke-fired furnace, installed in a pit from pit furnace, here crucible is placed on a pad. Here you are having a pad here in the bottom side of this pit. So used for melting small quantity, that means the coke-fired furnace is used for melting of small quantity of ferrous and non-ferrous alloys. Here also we are using that oil-fired furnace for melting of small quantity of ferrous and non-ferrous alloys, but here the fuel what we are using, that is either oil or gases. But in the case of this we are using coke as a fuel. So here it consists, first of all we discuss about the coke-fired furnace, thereafter we discuss oil furnace. So it consists of refractory lining inside the chimney at the top, and your pit furnace you are having a fuel we are using, that is coke, and it is having natural or air artificial draught we are using in this case of oil pit furnace. Crucible placed on the coke bed, coke is placed around the crucible, and basically we are using non-ferrous metal melting by using this type of furnace. Let us discuss about the oil-fired furnace. A mixture of oil or air or gas and air is fed into the furnace, which burns inside to produce the required temperature. While burning, the mixture enters tangentially and encircles the crucible. Here it is here in the figure you can see the gas and oil are passed through the air and it will be circulated among this total about this periphery. So the crucible is heated or around its circumference. So an uniform heating is will be there. So as the heat is uniform, so it is quite natural that the metal is melt evenly throughout its cross section. So to prevent heat loss, a cover is provided at the top. Here you are having a cover. So application of this oil-fired furnace is again cast iron and non-ferrous alloy with a small quantities. So again, if you want to describe about some advantages, it is having uniform heating of the metal charge. Number 2, low melting loss. Number 3, low capital and installation cost. Number 4, no contamination of the charge. And now last one is your flexibility, the ability to change the alloy. So these are some advantages of the both of this furnace. So thereafter, when this metal has been melted all around to its pouring temperature, thereafter we feed this metal into the mold to form the casting. So these are all about your different types of furnaces what we are using in the case of casting. So as per your syllabus is concerned, this is all about your furnaces. Let us discuss about the next article, which is name is die casting. So here in this slide you can see pressure die casting is written. So that die casting here in sand casting, before whatever we read, these molds are prepared by using sand. So whenever after pouring of the molten metal, we immediately, after pouring of the molten metal, we immediately, when it's cooled down, then we break the mold and get the casting. But here in the case of die casting, we are using a permanent type mold. So here it is written, die casting is a manufacturing process that can produce geometrically complex metal parts through the use of reasonable molds called dies. So here in this case, except we are naming that mold, we are having a permanent types of mold we are using. So unlike gravity casting, because we are the pressure in sand casting, we are pouring the molten metal into the mold. Therefore, in the gravitational force, therefore it is sometimes named as gravity die casting. So unlike gravity die casting, in pressure die casting, the molten metal is forced into the permanent mold. Here we are applying the pressure, which is sometimes known as die cavity under pressure. So in the sand casting, we are pouring the molten metal in the gravitational force, but here in die casting, or you can say pressure casting, we are applying the pressure. The pressure is generally obtained by compressed air or hydraulically. That means we are applying two types of pressure, either it is maybe pneumatical or it is having hydraulic pressure. The pressure varies from 70 to 5000 kg per centimeter square, and it maintained while the casting solidified. So throughout, you can say throughout the process, we are applying this pressure. So associated with external applied high pressure is the high velocity with which the liquid metal is injected into the die, and these conditions give a unique capacity for the production of intricate complete components at relatively low cost. That means we are using this die casting because if you compare, we are pouring and injection. The thing is that in pouring, the pressure is, the molten metal is, as we know, the density of the metal is high. So therefore it is not immediately entered into the mold. It will take some time. So which is deteriorated in our production time. But in the case of pressure casting, as you are applying more pressure, hydraulic pressure or air pressure, so immediately due to that pressure, the metal is injected to the in between the die. So that injection time is quite small. So within here it is a total cycle time is 2 to 1 minute. So what's happened? As the metal is enter into the gravity of the die, so it will reduce the time of the casting. And here in the case of die casting, as the dies are made of metal, so immediately after injection, we are cooling that dies by injecting your cold water onto the surface of this die. So you can say injection, by the pressure of injection, the metal is entered into the die quickly, as well as when the metal will solidify, because we are injecting your we are spraying air, we are spraying water onto the surface. So it is it helps to immediate cooling of the casting. So what's happened? Due to that, the solidification of the casting takes place in a very quick sort of time. So therefore, the after that we open these dies and we get the casting. So it helps us in both the manner. Number one, that the molten metal is immediately injected in between the molds, and another thing, in the second means when the cooling is very quick as compared to the sand casting. In sand casting, it will take 6 to 7 hours for the solidification depending upon the material. But here in this case, the as we are spraying water into it, so it will be immediately, it should be get solidified, and when we open these dies, then we get the casting. So here the some points is the injection, cooling, injection timing. So these are the all about your die casting. So let us discuss some advantages. So as we know, the production rate is very high, and again so which help us in various means. But it is only used if you want to know about the disadvantages. So disadvantages is that the initial cost of these dyes are very high. So and not it cannot be used as a various range of material. It is having so low melting temperature material like zinc, tin and lead, and as an aluminium, these dye pressure casting is very much usable, but not, it will not usable to all types of material. It is only can helpful for low melting temperature material. So these are all about your die casting. Thank you.